Hello and welcome back to Clayforge, making teeny tiny figures. Today I'm going to create, as I promised in the last video, a character from the Nintendo universe. And I decided on the character of Monty Mole. Who isn't familiar with the character of Monty Mole, he is in a universe with Mario, Bowser, Luigi, all these kind of people, and he is a common type of enemy in certain levels. And he's a very cute and of course simple guy. That's why I chose him, because he is easy to make, so the video won't be too long, and you could also do him yourself. These are all the colors you need. A bit of white. You can choose to mix it with a bit of sand color to make it a bit darker, but you can just leave it plain white. A bit of reddish orange brown, it's very bright. Then a bit of sand color, and then the last thing, a bit of dark brown. This is the dark brown I used in the last video for the shoes of the dwarf, so you can also reuse other colors. It doesn't have to be game accurate, you just need to like it. First, we're going to create a body. As you can see, this is the color of the body, and for size comparison, I used the dwarf I made in the last video. And so, as you can see on the first cut, this would be his body. Of course, he needs arms and feet, so these are going to be his feet, these are going to be his arms. So if we cut this down, we have some not equally sized parts, but some parts you can then use for these parts. To make sure the feet are both the same size, you can cut it here. You can very clearly see how big it is, so you don't have a problem of having one feet too big or too small. Same with this. And then you can at first smooth out the body, because as you know, Monty Mole doesn't have a flat bottom. Wouldn't make sense. So going to roll him a bit, and then you have to shape him into a certain form of him. He has a bit of, you could say, bottle form, so at the bottom he is a bit wider than on top. So as you can see, the body is already prepared. I smoothed out the feet and cut them at certain angles so they would fit nicely under Monty's body. Then, of course, you can't forget his tiny little tail. We'll get on the back at the end of the video. And for his face, you could call it his chin. This is going to be placed under his teeth. And the arms will be made separately later, because if I now make them, they might look too big, too small, so I want to be sure that they fit. Now we need to go on to make this tiny little, you could call it fur patches. So under his feet and under his hands he has a bit of lighter fur, so we're just going to take a little ball of it, not much, then roll it. You can take a tool, you can take a knife and just flatten it. I'm going to use my silicone tool so it won't stick. To a nice round shape. Cut it off the table. Then you can just put it under his feet, and just by pressing the foot down, it will look like it was already there, like it would be inverted into it. Like this. You can make this with later the arms too, then with other feet, and then we're already on to using the white clay for his belly and his face. So now onto his belly and his cheeks. They both have the same white color, and for his belly, just make a ball out of clay, flatten it, then press it onto his lower body. Make sure it's centered, and then you can use modeling tool or any other tool that you can roll something with, and try to smooth out the edges, because as you can see, here's a very big gap between the white and the brown, and want it to be a bit more smooth. So we smooth it out a bit, so it looks like it would actually be attached to his body. Now smooth a bit of the belly so it doesn't look too edgy. And now onto the cheeks. Just take 2 balls of clay, press them down a bit, and then you have to align them so they will be next to each other, like that. Press it onto his face, so that we can't forget, you still need his chin, so we'll place that. And then on top of that we will place his cheeks. And so the white parts of his body are also already done. Now we just need a little bit of dark clay. First off, of course, the nose. We'll add the teeth later when everything is finished. His nose, it has a bit of a triangular shape, so you can squeeze it to the size, the form you want it. Then of course his eyes and his, you could call it a mustache or facial hair. And his eyes are just some tiny little worms. So you just take that, look if it's the right size, right length, smooth it out and roll it out. So you will have 2 equally sized little worms. Bend them a bit. Yeah. Now he looks angry. I want him to look angry, I want him to look cute. Now the other eyebrow. Sorry, not eyebrow. These are his eyes. As he's a mole, you can't really see his eyes. So these are his eyes. It's a bit difficult imagining that these are his eyes and not just his eyebrows. But now to the facial hair. You need 2 hairs for each cheek. So you can of course make them with a bit of wire or stick them on like that. I will make them a bit shorter because I fear that might bend down in the oven or might break off when I touch him. So I'm going to make his facial hair very, very short. Like that and like that. Then cut it and add it to his body. But before we do that, we still need to do some other things. And that would be his feet and his arms. Because if we would do this now, this facial hair, it would maybe break off or get destroyed in the process of pushing the feet onto him. So for his feet, he has 3 toes. You could call them nails, claws. I mean, as a mole, he is not really having any claws, but still. And for that, you just have to smooth them out. Roll them on the edge. The middle one can be a bit larger maybe, if you want it. And then, you have to look at it. You can cut off the very end. And then, put them onto his feet. And so one of his feet is already done. Push it into place. Of course, he's a mole, he has very big and large hands and feet to dig through the mud, the earth. And now, the other foot. As you can see, both of the feet are done. Now I'm onto the arms. This worm of clay I rolled on one side a bit, so one side would be wider than the other, and then you could put them on as his arms. I will add his fingers, and then we can already add his tail, then his teeth, and then his facial hair. So now his hands are ready. Funnily enough, it's a bit strange, his feet have 3 toes, but his hands have 4 fingers, so I don't know, you could also go with 3, so it would be a bit easier, because the more fingers on one hand, the more space you need for each finger. So as you can see, if I would have wanted to add a thumb, which he doesn't have, well, funnily enough, I would have had to make the hand even wider, so it would fit enough. He's a bit of a waving position, so he's greeting one person or maybe saying goodbye to him. Who knows? But now to the teeth, because what would he be without teeth? And so now, Monty Mole is ready. His teeth, his facial hair, his little tail. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think he looks quite cute, quite nice. I will maybe make another one in the future to maybe improve, make a different variation, maybe make someone like with a pirate head, as there are also pirate goombas, cat goombas, like making certain variants of the normal animated types. But hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment if you like, and also check out my Instagram. I will upload a few videos per week, and yeah, goodbye.